Another thing I thought I'd touch on here really quick is this condition called tinnitus, which is basically this thing that can happen to some people that causes them to hear this ringing sound in their ears, particularly, at least for me, when it gets like quiet or close to silent. But I just Googled it now, and apparently it can get bad enough to where you're hearing it like even when it's noisy and shit outside, which sounds pretty nuts. Another thing that surprised me too when I just looked it up now is that apparently this condition only affects about 15 to 20% of the population, which surprised me because it's something I've dealt with my whole life. And every time I've brought it up to people, it seems to me, at least from my recollection, the majority of the people I'd bring it up to would be like, oh, yeah, I have the same shit happening to me as well, which is why when I was younger, I always wanted to have a fan on. Of course, because it's hot here in Hawaii and I'm a sweaty ass person anyway, so I want the fan on basically no matter what. But also, I wanted it on to give me that white noise background that could cut out this ringing shit I would hear in my ears if it wasn't on. And then add on top of that, recently now in the past like year or so, most nights I sleep with earplugs. Earplugs are amazing. I love them for a lucid dreaming practice. Helps to keep you in the dream and focus better, I find. Plus, I'm just like a really light sleeper in general, right? So any type of other noise coming in from the outside always tends to wake me up. Granted, normally I can fall asleep pretty quickly, but if that's like my wife or my son snoring, then fuck no, I can't sleep. Gotta shut that shit up or wake them up or do something to cut it out. It's like I won't be able to sleep through it. So earplugs can fix that shit. Don't gotta wake them up. But basically, these are the ways that I found to deal with it over the years. Where one, and this is really the main point to make, is that even if it is kind of irritating and annoying once you realize it's happening, is once you stop focusing on it, it essentially gets silent. Although if you ever look for that sound, that can always find the sound. But once you're not paying attention to it and you get caught up in the hypnagogic meditation or just the regular thoughts flooding your brain, it, at least for me, can drown that shit out. The other approach, which is kind of neat, is you can actually kind of use it like a object of attention, doing almost like a meditative type approach with it, and focus on it and try to hold on to it as long as you can, which basically for me always causes the ringing sound to get a lot louder and potentially more annoying. But the cool part is, just like with any type of meditation practice you're doing, you're going to lose focus on what you're trying to pay attention to, right? So you hear the general background ring of it, you start to focus on it as your object of attention, it gets louder and more irritating. But as you're listening to it and trying to focus on it, getting irritated with it or whatever, at some point your attention will slip to some other random thought coming up in your head, and it will cause like it to break off and you won't be able to hear it anymore, right? Then you think, oh, wait, I don't hear it no more. Then you listen for it and it comes deafening again. But it can be a nice little practice just to kind of show you and illustrate that first point I was getting at, is when you're not focused on it, it basically causes it to like equal out and just disappear.